for your hobbies like kidnapping, etc.
Yeah. Well, I got a bunch of rope because my wife went through a phase where she thought that she was like into getting tied up, and then just turns out the only thing that got in the way was like my knot tying skills. I could tie one hell of a knot, but I can't do it very fast, and I definitely can't do it in the dark. So
Yeah.
it would turned into like 3 minutes of me being like, the rabbit comes out of the hole around the tree back at no fuck the rabbit and then like just in the dark, and then she'd be like, yeah, I'm starting to dry up here. I was like, yeah, no, I'm getting it, just wait.
So say that again. I missed that because I wasn't recording yet. Why did you
uh
have rope?
we got a bunch of rope because there was my wife went through a phase where she thought that she was like into getting tied up sexually. And I mean, she probably was, but the problem that we ran into was my lack of ability in knot tying in the dark and
Fantastic.
hastily. So it would turn into just me trying to remember knots from Boy Scouts when I was like 10, and her getting frustrated that I wasn't doing it fast enough.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just like your scout leaders from Boy Scouts when you were 10.
Yeah, exactly.
I was in scouts.
I never got molested. I got an email the other day saying like, "Were you molested in Boy Scouts? There's a lawsuit, and you could jump on it now." And I was like, "Son of a bitch!" For a second, I was like, I could lie about it, but my scout leaders are still like alive and in the professional world, and they would definitely lose their jobs and stuff.
You missed the boat on that one.
Yeah. There was one kid that I remember from Boy Scout camp. I used to be a counselor at Cub Scout camp for a few years, and we did have one kid that got caught diddling like a 6 or 7-year-old in his tent.
Oh, no.
And, yeah. He was around my age, so he was around probably between 14 and 16. And when I say that dude disappeared from the face of the planet, because I mean, we knew him pretty well. He wasn't in our troop, but he was in a troop that like we did a lot of stuff with. And whenever I say he disappeared off the face of the planet, like nobody ever mentioned his name again. He just disappeared. I still have no idea where. I've looked him up like recently. Hey,
Say hi
little-
to Chanel. Where's the
little
camera?
whiteout snake.
She's a ball python. There,
That is the whitest snake I've ever seen.
What are you doing? She's shedding.
Wow, that is incredibly white.
Yep.
That is.
I've gotten that before.
Yeah,
That is whiter than bowling. That is whiter than bowling and bluegrass put together.
I've never heard that before.
I just.
Well, you guys ready to start this thing?
I fucking guess so.
All right. I'll give you the countdown and then just go.
All right.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie on't, oh fie! 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possesses it merely, that this it should come to this. But 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king that was to this.
How much more of this is there?
A solid paragraph, Pepper.
Jesus.
A solid paragraph. So loving to my mother, that he might not beteem the wines of heaven, visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth, must I remember? Why, she would hang on him, as if I increased appetite had grown. But what it fed on, and yet within a month, let me not think on't. Frankly, thy name is woman. A little month, or ere those shoes were old, with which she followed my forefather's body. Like Niobe, all tears, why she, even she, O God, a beast that wants discourse of reason, would have mort longer, married with mine uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules within a month.
You see?
Here yet
This is what happens when you let people like Mark Simmons give you money to sponsor your podcast. You have to read Shakespeare at the beginning. Please, nobody go anywhere. Just suffer for a moment. Please continue.
I'm almost done.
Okay.
Done. Tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes. She married, almost wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good, but prick my heart, for I must hold my tongue. You're
done?
watching Open Micers.
Are you done? Can I play the music now?
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah, play the fucking music.
Oh my God. Welcome to another episode of the Open Micers podcast. My name is Jason Robbins.
I'm Kenneth fucking Branagh.
Okay. We have a guest that kind of looks like Kenneth Branagh on the mic right now, on the camera.
Yeah, like Kenneth Branagh if he was like super redneck and gets sunburnt riding in the car.
Okay.
Please welcome Pepper Goins to the podcast, everybody.
What's up, Pepper? Uh-oh, we can't hear him now for some reason. What happened?
Uh-oh.
I think he got drunk and turned off something. It was working just fine a minute ago.
Yep, that's how it goes.
That's always.
Welcome to Open Micers.
Welcome to Open Micers. Shout out to Rampage up in the chat room right now. What happened, man? I don't know what happened.
It doesn't look like he's muted, so do you need to change our area to Central or something like that?
Let me try that, yeah.
Oh, damn it.
All right, we're in Central. Yep, there he is. Now I hear you.
Oh, I'm back now?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I think I had to change this to Central because for some reason the time zone we were in and Discord crapped out.
Wow.
That was fun. Hi, Pepper.
Oh, man, you guys missed a shit ton of jokes I was making.
Nice. That's par for the course here at the Open Micers podcast.
I was like, Mark Simmons found a way to ruin a podcast that he's not even on.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I like having money to pay the server costs and everything and get the stuff we need. But Mark, come on, man. Like,
Come on, Mark.
Really?
I'm not saying that I wouldn't do the exact same thing. I probably would have just made it a little bit more graphic.
This is what happens when your friends are assholes.
Yeah, look, I'll admit it, okay? It was maybe 50% Mark and 50% me, because I had the chance to say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was also like, dude, this is too fucking funny to just not read Shakespeare on a fucking podcast.
So, Pepper, I want to ask you. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
No, I was going to ask you, are you a Van Halen fan?
Sure, yeah. Who's not?
Well, I would figure you might get a kick out of this because I haven't brought this up on the show or anything. I got the greatest app the other day on my phone, and I figured you would appreciate this. This is the best 99 cents I've ever spent on an app. Now, check this out. I got the David Lee Roth app on my phone. It's the greatest thing. Check it out. Look. God damn it, baby. No, I ain't lying to you. I'm only going to tell you one time.
And that's like old David Lee Roth, too. You could tell. Damn. Is there a Sammy Hagar app? Because I'd buy the shit out of that.
I don't know. Let me see. I'll look it up on the App Store. You guys talk amongst yourselves while I check the App Store because this is the greatest thing.
Are you more into Van Halen or Van Hagar?
Honestly, I feel like they're two separate entities, like two separate bands. I like them both for different reasons. Because David Lee Roth era was more like, they were the party band. Like let's get some beer and go hang out at the beach and party. And then with Sammy, they were more kind of middle-aged and writing love songs and things like that. So it's two separate eras. I prefer the David Lee Roth era, but I honestly think some of the better actual songwriting was with Sammy Hagar. But like I said, I do like the Roth era better.
My favorite Van Halen song across the board is actually Right Now.
Yeah.
With Van Hagar. Right now.
I mean,
hey, and tomorrow.
yes. I mean, it's arguably one of the best songs they ever wrote.
It's everything.
Yeah. I mean, like, people shit on Van Hagar, but like, I don't see the difference. Honestly, it's just a different fucking singer, man.
Yeah, it's a whole different
Still
thing.
guys.
It's a different vibe for sure.
And I don't know if you listened to the 2013 Van Halen album with David Lee Roth came back, and they did.
Absolutely not. No.
It's called A Different Kind of Truth. It's a really good album. I've been rocking it lately.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, go check it out. It's great.
Do they still have Michael? What's their bass player name?
Michael Anthony.
Michael Anthony.
Yeah. No, he's
still playing?
No, Wolfgang. Eddie's son is playing bass for him.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. So I think it was whatever David Lee Roth came back, they did a tour, and their opening band was Bring Me the Horizon right before they started sucking.
Yeah.
So this was like first album Bring Me the Horizon where it was like very heavy shit. I really wanted to go see him.
That's an odd pairing. I saw Van Halen on the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge tour back when I was a youngin'. In '92, I think they played the Coliseum, and Alice in Chains opened up for them before anybody knew who Alice in Chains was. Holy crap, they were so much heavier than Van Halen. It's like, it's a weird combination, but it worked.
I've unintentionally seen Three Doors Down more than any other band on the planet, I think. I mean, other than like local bands.
Yeah.
For
so some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was never my intention because I don't care, or I don't like Three Doors Down. I don't give a shit about them at all.
Neither does Jason.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I didn't intentionally watch Three Doors Down all the time. I don't think.
But they used to go on tour with Shinedown all the time, and I fuck with Shinedown.
Well, the thing is, we were supposed to go on tour back when I was in Fall as well. We were supposed to go on tour with Shinedown when Shinedown first broke big with Simple Man. And for some reason, that fell through. And I don't know why it fell through, but that would have been a cool tour to go on.
They are, the Shinedown guys are, like, really cool guys. I know some people that are friends with the drummer and I think the guitar player. And they're just, like, really decent people.
Yeah.
Great family-oriented people.
Do you remember they did play here? It was around that time when Three Doors Down used to do, what was their charity? The Better Life Foundation. They did this big charity event at the Grand Casino back in like 2003 or 4, whenever that was. And Shinedown played there, and we got to meet him and everything. And that was around the time we were in talks with him to go on tour, and that was pretty cool just to kind of just go hang out. And it wasn't like, I don't know if it was like an open thing. It might have had to been like, if you had donated to the Extra Life thing, you got invited to go to it. There was like a silent auction for like all kind of different memorabilia and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. That's like way before I came. I came down here in 2012. I'm originally from Columbus, Georgia.
Oh.
The home of oh fuck. Oh, come on. Old pro wrestling guy. Jannetty.
Oh, Marty Jannetty?
Home of Marty Jannetty.
Speaking of Marty Jannetty, did you see that he just kind of casually admitted that he murdered a man? Like a week or two ago?
So casually admitted that he murdered a man behind Victory Lanes, which is on Victory Drive in Columbus, Georgia. Claimed that he dumped the body in the Chattahoochee River, which is a very plausible story. The Chattahoochee River is lousy with dead bodies.
Crazy.
I know this for a fact.
See, my buddy Joey Image knows him pretty well because I think he must live up near Jersey now because he knows Marty Jannetty, and he's a ex wrestler himself, so he kind of runs in those circles. And he failed to mention that Marty Jannetty was a murderer. So I don't think if he knew it either. But
and he also said in the same post, it was like it was the first time that I made a man disappear.
How many murders have you committed?
All right, Marty, go off, King.
And then he like went on this whole like, you know, anti-gay diatribe. Like he killed the dude because the dude tried to like get like rape him or something behind the store.
Yeah.
Like, what is this story? Like,
Yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with his Facebook, but he is. Oh man, a few years ago, he did like a Facebook Live, and have you ever seen in like movies when like somebody does a bunch of cocaine and then they have cocaine all over their face?
Yeah.
Like it's just so much that it's comical.
Yeah.
So he did that but he was like for real. He was in a hotel room. There's like cocaine openly on the table. He's got like cocaine on his nose and shit. And he's doing a Facebook Live trying to get his daughter to call him.
Wow.
He's like, baby, I just need you to call me. I haven't been able to talk to you for a couple months. You know, I know everything's been kind of crazy, but you know, I'm getting my life together, figuring stuff out right now. He's just like, you know, on cocaine. But yeah, he's a wild dude. He used to do like autograph signings at the comic book store in Columbus.
Oh, yeah?
And that's the only reason I knew that he existed was because he would do those, and I would hear people, you know, talk about him. I don't watch wrestling at all, so I have my co-host Thomas has told me that he was part of a tag team.
Yeah. The Rockers.
The other guy that he was in a tag team with became like one of the biggest wrestlers in the world, and
Shawn
he just kind of fell by the wayside.
Yeah, and he like Shawn Michaels, you know, ascended to superstardom, and Marty Jannetty just kind of, I don't know, when that tag team duo broke up, he just kind of went into obscurity, and I guess that must have fucked him up. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
They might have broke up when he fucking killed that guy.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, he said. Well, the other thing, if you do the math, he said it was 1973. He was born in 1960. He was 13 years old the first time he tasted blood.
Jesus Christ. I wonder how old he was the first time he tasted cocaine.
13 and a half, probably.
Probably. Or 12 and a half. And
Wasn't he trying to buy
Yeah, he was
drugs
trying
from
to
the guy?
buy Columbus, Georgia Mexican brick dirtweed.
God,
it's literally just weeds out of someone's garden.
That's
Everybody in Columbus, Georgia knows the weed that I'm talking about. You
Wow.
get it, and like it almost comes in like cubes because it's so like tightly compacted,
Uh-huh.
and there's so much like plant material that's not like smokable in it. So you'll get, dude, like I've pulled sticks out that were no joke, like almost the diameter of a pencil.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I mean, the amount of seeds, I mean, you could
Is
just
it like
create your own crop. But you could get like a
40%?
softball sized bag of weed for like $100.
Damn, what is it, like 40% grass clippings or something?
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, that's awful. Stay away from
Yeah.
Georgia. I think the moral of this story is stay away from Georgia. That's
Columbus, Georgia specifically. Atlanta's fine.
Oh, I've been to Atlanta a few times. I'm not a fan of Atlanta at all.
Oh, dude, I love Atlanta.
No.
It's probably just because you're racist.
No, I just
Yeah, that would explain it.
I tell you why I hate Atlanta. Driving through it.
Okay.
You know, because
Yeah,
That's
it
fair.
that really makes the skinhead come out of Jason.
dude,
Yeah.
look, when we were on tour, I had to drive the van, this big 15-passenger church van
Yep.
with like 8 other dudes in there, plus a trailer, trying to drive around. What is the interstate that goes around and through
The
Atlanta?
loop. I'm trying to find it right now. It's not 285. It's I'll get it in just a second.
But dude, I'm like white knuckling it in this van, trying to keep us alive, doing like 95, like redlining the engine in this thing, doing 95 miles an hour, and people are just like passing me like I'm standing still, and it's like a
Yeah,
eight lane highway.
It's 285. It's the 285 loop.
I hated going through there every time we had to go, and now I just hate Atlanta. I don't even want to go near that place.
See, I never take the bypass. I always take 75 or 85 and just go straight through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you hit it in a fucked up, like you don't want to hit that around 5 because it'll just be gridlock because you got to go through the tunnel and all that shit. And sometimes you'll hit like airport traffic and shit like that. But if you catch it at the right time, like a good 3 o'clock in the afternoon, pew, fucking hyperspeed.
Oh
dude.
yeah, me and my brother went to a concert in Atlanta a few years ago to see Opeth at I forgot the name of the place. It was like in the front it looked like a bar, and then you go in and like it's out back. It's this big
Masquerade.
open. I think that's it. Masquerade was like this big open amphitheater.
Rest in peace, Masquerade.
And we were going there. Man, the traffic. We had to leave like it. And my brother lives in Birmingham, and it's like what 2.5 hours away. We had to leave like 5 hours early just to get there because traffic's so bad.
Because y'all had to get through there around 5.
Yeah. Like New Orleans has nothing on Atlanta traffic. Atlanta traffic is just the worst I've ever seen in my life. Other than Dallas. Dallas is pretty bad too.
Dallas is pretty bad, but Dallas at least they have all those service roads.
Yeah.
So you can kind of, but New Orleans, it's not as bad as Atlanta, but just the way the streets are laid out, the way the turning lanes are and everything.
Yeah.
If it's your first couple of times, it's pretty intimidating.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've always hated about New Orleans, but not now because I'm pretty acclimated to the city, and thank God for GPS now. Like that's helped me so much. But back in the day, going there as a teenager, like if you missed the turn to get onto I-10, you're fucked.
You live in New Orleans.
Yeah, I live here now. I live here now. I remember we went to see
GPS since your lifetime, Jason.
We got lost when we were coming home from the Tony Hawk's Boom Boom Huck Jam at the.
Hell yeah, dude.
We went. It was at the Smoothie. Well, it's the Smoothie King Center now, and it was there, and we missed the turn to get onto the interstate. We ended up in Kenner in the middle of the night.
I don't know where that is, but that sounds like bumfuck.
It is, dude. It's the middle of nowhere. We're just like, where the fuck are we at, man? We left the arena at 10 o'clock, and it takes what, an hour and 15 minutes to get home from New Orleans, even if traffic's kind of bad. We didn't get home till like 4 or 5 in the morning. We were so freaking lost.
I have a similar story. So there's a venue in Atlanta. I can't remember. I think it's the Tabernacle. Have you ever been to the Tabernacle in Atlanta?
Tabernacle. I've been to the couple places I've been to was the one place you mentioned. This place called the
Masquerade.
The Dark Horse. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Okay.
And there's another place, but I can't remember the name of it.
So the Tabernacle is like right. I think it's just north of Centennial Park, the Olympic Park, wherever they had the big boom boom back in '96.
Yeah.
So that's on Lucky Street, which is fine. That's great.
Yeah.
So this is like right when GPS first came out. This is probably like 2005, 2004. We punched in the address Lucky Street into the GPS. We're riding down. It tells us to get off the interstate. And it's directing us on 285 towards East Atlanta. I don't know if you ever listen to rap music, but East Atlanta isn't great.
Yeah.
So apparently there's 2 Lucky Streets in Atlanta, and one of them is in East Atlanta, and the other one is where it's supposed to be. So we get off, and like we're completely fucking lost. I'm with my stepdad, who I fucking hate. So we're just driving around. We have to like stop for directions like 3 or 4 times. Nobody knows where the fucking Tabernacle is. So and it's not like we can pull up a map and like be like, oh, what's right next to, whatever. Let's ask if we can get to. So, I mean, I think we got lost for about 3 fucking hours, and we actually decided to say, fuck it. We'll just go to Atlanta. Like we'll go downtown and walk around since we're not going to make the show anymore. And we ended up kind of stumbling across it. But yeah, I'm glad that GPS technology has progressed.
But see, the bad thing about GPS back then, like the Garmin's and the TomToms, when you first bought them, you're supposed to, hook them up to the internet so you can download all the updated maps, because there was no there was no updating the map in real time. So if you got an old version of a map, you were completely screwed. I had that happen before. And Jacob has no getting lost stories because his mom drives him everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much. The only time I've ever been lost is going to Anniston, Alabama, and that's not even really a story. We just didn't have any fucking Wi-Fi because we were in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see you got a whole nother 24 pack of Miller Lights there, Pepper. Did
Yeah,
you already
my
drink
wife
the
just
first 24?
No, my wife just got back from the store, and she's a good lady, so she dropped them off for me.
That's awesome. Are they nice and cold, or are they warm? Did she get them off the
Yeah, these are
shelf?
cold. These
Oh,
are straight
good.
out of the cooler from the gas station. These other ones, I mean, they came right out of the refrigerator too. So I mean, we're all good, man. Don't worry about me.
So how are things going over at the Rushmore podcast?
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to talk to you guys about. Yeah, they're good. They're great. So things are going extra good because last week I tested positive for COVID-19.
Oh no!
So, but I have no symptoms at all. I was sick for like one day, got tested the next day, and then from then on I've had no symptoms. So we've been on quarantine lockdown for 10 to 14 days.
Wow.
Before this, we were kicking around the idea of starting a Patreon, and we're trying to figure out what to do with it. We're talking about starting our own independent podcast just for the Patreon. And I mean, since I don't have anything to do, I just started doing that. So I've already recorded like fucking 4 or 5 episodes of our new Patreon show. I'm gonna call it what did we decide on? I think it's put some pep in your step with put some pep in your step, a Rushmore podcast affiliated podcast with host Pepper Goins. I think that's the official title.
That's an awesome title.
And
Rolls
yeah,
off the tongue.
exactly. So like this morning I recorded a podcast with a professor from the University of Sydney about their attempts and ongoing labor to save the Australian drop bear.
Oh. But drop bears
They've been
aren't real.
Huh?
But drop bears aren't real.
Well, see, that's one of the things he was talking about. Because there's a myth out there that drop bears aren't real, the attempts to save the drop bear has become greatly hindered. So what you actually said is actually super fucked up, and you're one of the reasons why the drop bear is going to go extinct. So thanks for that.
Well, tell him I'm sorry and to send me a can of Vegemite.
Yeah.
So I can.
I want to get some VB, dude.
VB.
Yeah, Victoria. It's like the Australian shit beer.
Really? I thought Foster's
Yeah.
was the Australian shit beer.
No. Like they have Fosters in Australia, but it's like, it's like one of those things like nobody drinks it.
Yeah.
It's like that's like for fucking stupid Americans.
I thought they just drank rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, I mean for the most part, their alcohol prices are surprisingly high. Because when you think Australians, you think drunk idiots, right?
Yeah.
So
like
it's
most Americans.
you actually, yeah, you actually have to be doing pretty well to stay drunk in Australia.
Huh.
Maybe
They should
that's-
all
regular-
move here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, don't do that. They're fine.
I mean, over here
But-
you could get drunk for like $6 if you're doing it right.
Exactly. And over there, like a 12-pack of like shitty beer would be like probably $20-$25 American.
Damn.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And Australian money is worth less than ours, so that's way more in Australia.
Yeah, apparently I didn't know this, but apparently their economy recently kind of took a dive. So it's like
Yeah, because everything's on fire.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
Well-
that definitely doesn't help.
What exactly
economy. Fires.
what is their biggest export besides statuesque beautiful
Tim
actors
Tams.
and actresses? And
Huh. Well, let's look that up. We have Google. I actually have no idea.
this is kind of interesting. I never really thought about it before. I don't really use any Australian products.
Yeah, all I know about is like certain Australian snacks, like fucking Tim Tams. Oh, boomerangs.
Yeah, boomerangs.
Boomerang.
Wow, you guys are going to be really surprised by this.
Uh-huh.
This is exciting. Hold on, it's loading up.
Okay. We got a few.
How you guys been doing?
We got a few listeners of the show in Australia, so this will be fun for them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do we
man.
actually?
Yeah.
Well,
We need to get an Australian guest, bro. I've been
Yeah.
trying to get Max Mofo on the show, but he won't answer my emails.
this is taking forever. Turn Wi-Fi off. Let's see if that. Oh, here we go. All right. GDP growth since 2000 from 2008 to 2018, 15.7%. That's pretty good, Australia. Good on you guys. All right. Top exports of Australia. Does anybody want to take a wild guess?
I'm gonna
Bananas.
say lumber. Just
That's
shot in the dark.
weirdly close, dude.
Really?
That's weirdly close. Top exports, number 1, coal briquettes.
Oh, and that's made out of it's
Yep.
made out of wood.
Charcoal
actually.
briquettes.
Well,
That's
they're fucked now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they're just one step closer in the process.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Just scoop it all up and
Yeah.
send it over to us.
Yeah.
So that accounts for $57.2 billion.
Jesus.
Oh wow.
What's number
That's
2?
impressive.
Jeez.
Number 2 is iron ore.
Okay.
That makes sense. If you ever see the desert, it's very red out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Australia.
Number 3 is Hemsworth's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 3 is petroleum gas.
Okay.
Oh well, you'd think that would be a pretty big one. I guess they must not have a lot.
You know what's really crazy is when you look at the map of Australia and you look at the populated areas and just the unpopulated areas, it's nuts that like 99% of that continent is just the bush. What they would call the bush. It's just wilderness. And they wonder why everything's trying to kill them there because they're just outnumbered.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I mean,
1970s pussy over there.
I mean, you got snakes, spiders, drop bears, sharks, crocodiles,
1970s pussy.
and pussy from the 1970s for sure. So the last on this list is something that is makes up a small amount of their economy, but it's surprising to me: broadcasting equipment.
What?
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Well, like, just,
I mean, I thought most of that was like German and American.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I never really thought about that before. Like, where, like, do they mass produce like cameras and stuff?
You know what, man? There's a fucking shitload of Australian YouTubers who do really well for themselves. That's probably a little explanation. They probably have really good equipment and shit to just get into it.
Maybe it is very surprising, like the amount of celebrities that come out of Australia versus the actual population of Australia.
Mhm.
Because you realize that the entire population for the country is 20 million. It's actually less than California.
And they're all
And
gorgeous. It's like,
Oh,
like Margot
Well-
Robbie. I mean, it's like everybody's there. It's just like, you know, tanned and tall and blonde
Yeah.
and
it's a land of extremes. Because
Yeah.
you've seen Margot Robbie, but have you seen Aileen Wuornos?
who?
No.
Okay, she's an Australian serial killer, and she looks
Ooh.
like imagine the grossest woman you've ever seen in Mississippi, and just give her an accent like this. Or no, that's British. Just have her talk like trash, where you could barely understand her, and she
Oh,
smokes.
all right.
Yeah,
Aileen Wuornos. Oh shit. Oh no.
yeah.
Well, I like to
That's the
refer to the Gulf Coast here as the Australia of America because of everything here is trying to kill us as well.
Yeah, similar exports.
Yeah. Similar
so-
weather, probably.
Yeah. All right, I'll accept that. Aside from the whole smoking hot ladies thing, for sure. I mean,
Oh,
except for my wife, obviously.
Dude, just go hang out at the Walmart,
Yeah.
man. The hotties everywhere.
Yeah.
Especially
No, I'm happily
night.
married to a beautiful Mississippi woman.
I saw a lady walk into Walmart one time with shit in her pants.
Hell yeah, dude. Did you get a number?
Dude, I had an old lady fart on me one night.
Almost.
This
Did
was
you go home with her?
no, it was awful because this was like one of those nights where I had just started dating my ex-wife, and we had been dating for this was her first birthday was rolling around, like the first birthday of us being together. And
Oh, okay. I thought she was an infant.
no, like we had been together, and then her birthday rolled around, and this was my this was my first birthday, like with her, like her birthday.
Okay.
And
Thank you for explaining that.
it was the night before, and me being who I am, I completely forgot about it. So she went to bed at like 10 or whatever. So I hauled ass. I had just remembered at the last minute and hauled ass down to Walmart to get a card and maybe find like a cool DVD or something. And I was in the card
No
section.
wonder you're divorced.
Yeah, well,
Cool DVD.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
hey.
here's the Darkest Night or the Dark Night, whatever.
What can I say?
Here's
Dark Knight
Super
Rises.
Troopers.
What can I-
Got it. The 374 bin.
I got something out the $5 bin. I mean, what can I say? I'm a hopeless romantic. So I was in the card section. It's like 11 o'clock at night. Nobody's in there. I'm looking through the birthday cards, and this old lady comes shuffling down the aisle. She's like in a house coat, and she's got her slippers on, and she comes walking down there, and she starts like getting in my way, looking at the cards and stuff, and I'm like trying to not get in her way. I'm still looking at cards, and all of a sudden I hear, and she looks at me, and then I smelled it. It was like
Oh.
it was like getting hit in the face with like it smelled like death and shit.
It's like a cat fart.
Yeah, and I had to leave. I was like, I can't. I almost vomited, and it was awful. Like I'd never been farted on by an old lady, and it followed me. It followed me for like 3 or 4 aisles. Like I thought I was stained with it. Like I thought I was gonna have to buy some cans of tomato paste so I could take a bath.
That fart sounded like the beginning part of "Drop It Like It's Hot."
Yeah. It was so bad. And it was over in the Gulfport Walmart too, so like the super trashy Walmart.
They got all the fishing stuff in there.
Yeah.
Ugh. I had a lady farted on me next to the bait.
It smelled like she was eating bait, and that's what she farted all over me. It was like this
I
was one
used
of them
to-
real bad greasy smells that just won't leave you. Like I smelled it for like 2 days afterwards.
I used to have an ex-girlfriend that she thought it was super funny to like walk over to me, sit on my lap, and then fart.
Yeah.
And, I mean, she thought it was
What?
hilarious.
What's her number?
Hey, believe it or not, she's available.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
But I mean, yeah, I'll give it to her. The first couple times it was pretty funny, but like after like the 5th time, I'm just like, gross.
Yeah,
Can't do this
I remember the other week, me and my girlfriend were laying in bed, and we were laying butt to butt because I don't know, she likes to lay butt to butt, and I felt her fart on me, and she thought I was asleep, and I didn't even say anything. I was just like, "Aw, she loves me."
You should have returned fire for sure.
I don't know, if I returned fire, I would have shit on her.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the name of the game, baby.
Preemptive strike, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh man.
I wonder if
Top
you could-
over Vietnam, baby.
So did
Huh.
y'all want to do the top 5, or y'all want to just keep chatting for the rest of the time?
I got mine, man.
All right.
Yeah, let's do the top 5.
Yeah, let's run through the top 5 because we're getting close to the end here, and man, this flew by, man. This is crazy.
Yeah.
But
We didn't even talk about Pepper.
I know. We'll have to. Well, you can come back again
Okay.
anytime, man. It's
Yeah.
not a big deal. It's not like we will never talk again after this.
People are figured out. I'm not worried about it.
But let's go. What we're talking about tonight is top 5 underground comics, comedians. So Pepper, we're gonna let you go first. What's your number 5 for underground comedians?
All right. This week on Open Micers, we're doing our Mount Rushmore of underground comedians. My number 5. It's Mount Rushmore plus 1. My number 5 on my Mount Rushmore plus 1 of underground comedians is Brian Holtzman, the king of the Comedy Store, the king of late night, the most offensive man on the planet, Brian Holtzman. Check out Dead Air with Brian Holtzman on wherever you get podcasts.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've never heard of that guy before, but if he's offensive, I love him.
All right, guys.
So
I'm gonna switch us back
to it.
I'm gonna switch us back to the South because you guys are getting crunchy for me. Hold on, just one moment. All right, can you guys hear me?
Yo.
Okay, we're back. We're good.
Feedback coming through on your computer, Jason, or at least there was.
There was? I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, like me and Pepper, we're coming through on your end.
Huh, that's probably just
I
coming
started
through
hearing a weird echo when I started yelling.
That's weird. It's probably the server that we were on. Discord's been having problems lately. But Jacob, what's your number 5 underground comics?
Okay, my number 5. There it is again, goddammit.
I don't know what that is.
I hear it. I don't know. Do you need to turn us down?
Maybe. Hold on. I'll turn you down on my headphones.
I'll turn my phones down just in case.
All right. Because I don't want to have the back half of the show fucking be just echoes for everybody.
Yeah, I don't have any more echo. Ah!
Yeah,
No,
I think we're good. So my number 5 is a guy that I had a chance to meet. I didn't meet him because we were doing shows at the same time. Actually, is Andrew Rivers. He came down here and he headlined at the Kraken. He headlined at OK Bike Shop. And both of those nights I had a different show somewhere else, so I never got to see him. But I looked him up on YouTube, and I'm a fan, dude. Like, our comedy styles are actually really fucking similar. Like, that's the first comic I've ever watched, and I'm like, hey, he kind of does what I do a little bit.
So his name's Andrew Rivers.
Yeah, I'm really into that guy. He knows your man Mark Normand. He does some mics with him.
All right, so my number 5 is he's the comedian that I love, that me and Jacob both love, and I can never remember his damn name. He's from Mobile, Alabama.
Randy?
Bill Randy. Holy crap. One of the funniest dudes I've ever seen in my entire life. The dude, how would you describe his comedy, Jacob? Because I want to get him on the show. I really want to get him on this show.
Yeah, right now he's supposed to be our first guest for the week of September.
Okay.
If our celebrity guest for next week doesn't confirm with me, then we'll have on Bill next week.
Okay.
But I would describe his...
That's disrespectful.
Yeah, it's all right. He doesn't watch our show.
All right. Fuck you, Bill.
But yeah, fuck you, Bill. I would describe his comedy as just delightfully ignorant.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I would say that describes it perfectly.
And he's a Mobile guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I have to check him out.
He comes to the open mics. He doesn't talk to anybody. He signs up, goes up and does his 5 minutes, and then immediately walks off the stage and leaves. I've never talked to the dude in person, and his comedy is just like he reads out of a book, but they're not jokes. They're just like these random observations that make no sense. Like, he'll just be like look in his book, and he'll just, like, my favorite one, and he doesn't even say anything. He's flipping through his book, and he looks, and he laughs, and then he turns the page. Like, what was that?
Like, that's for him for later.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty funny, dude.
He's awesome. I can't wait to get him on the show. He's my favorite.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. It especially with like open mic guys like that. I really wonder like how much of it is unintentional versus intentional. Because I know a lot of people that are. No, you're fine. That are like unintentionally hilarious, and those are probably the most funny people I know. They have no idea how or why they're funny, but I swear to God, if they could figure out what the fuck they were doing and lean into it, I mean, they would sell a Netflix special next year.
Well, I think he's figured out what makes him funny, and it just the way he is what's funny. And he does, like I said, he doesn't write jokes. He just writes these weird little observations, and it's like his facial expressions, the way he
Can you
says
give me an
it.
example of one?
Like,
Yeah,
what's the one where he like looks and he's like, hey, what do you think about tigers? Those are pretty weird, right? You're just like,
And then just turns the page.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And he'll be like, "So what about tigers? Like, why do we let them exist?"
Yeah. And you're just
I like him.
and me and Jacob are back in the back of the room just howling, laughing, and nobody else in the crowd's getting it. Like the normal, just
Yeah.
regular cut people are just like, what is this? And me and Jacob are just
Yeah.
back there just like, like
I had a
dying.
guy like that in our high school. There was a guy, I don't remember his name now, but he was blind. Like he was completely blind since birth.
That's
And,
hilarious.
Yeah, so we're on, yeah, good start so far. So I had a couple classes with him, and a lot of people just kind of ignored him and like didn't really listen to stuff that he did or said. But I realized pretty early on in that school year that this guy was a fucking comedian, and he was always going for laughs. So I mean, he would just say offhanded shit, and I would just crack up. The one that got me kicked out of class was we were doing stuff on the overhead projector, and our teacher had a sheet up there, and she was like, "All right, is everybody done with this one? I'm about to take it down." He raised his hand. He's like, Miss Brand, I didn't get a chance to see that," and nobody else got it. And I was inconsolable, dude. Like I was on the floor. Like she literally told me, "It's like, Pepper, you're gonna have to go outside. You're distracting everybody else."
Oh,
and
dude.
I could not stop it.
Let me tell you a story about when I got kicked out of class. Do you remember taking the I think it was the ASVAB?
ASVAB, yeah.
Yeah, back in
Yeah.
11th grade, and I was in my English class taking the ASVAB, and it'd been one of those like late in the school year around May, and it had been raining for days, and where my English class was, right outside the window was the trailers for ROTC.
Yep.
And it was and there was no like pavement out there. It was just all like dirt and mud and just looked like it just shit, like it'd been raining for days. And I'm sitting there taking my ASVAB, and I'm the only one who's got the window open by my desk, and I can see out, like I can just see right out that window, those weird windows that like open up, like kind of like fold them down. And I'm sitting there taking the ASVAB, and we're all supposed to be quiet. We're in the class all day taking this test. And I look out, it's raining, and I see this chick in full ROTC, like full dress, like ROTC uniform, come stumbling out of the ROTC trailer, fucking lands in the mud, face first, and on her hands and knees, and starts throwing up everywhere. And I start laughing hysterically in class, so bad that my teacher made me leave and go sit out in the hallway until I could compose myself.
That's so good.
I still to this day don't know what happened.
If there is a God, God did that just for you. 'Cause you're the only one that experienced that besides her.
Because I just start cracking up laughing, and all the windows, all the blinds were down. The rest, the whole length of the wall. So I'm the only one that saw it, and I'm like dying laughing at this poor girl that's like laying in the mud, vomiting all over herself.
God, our God is an awesome God, man.
So
about that.
What's your number 4 underground comedian?
My number 4 is a guy that you guys are probably familiar with. He would definitely come on this show if you ask him. Mark Viola, whichever one he prefers. I can't say that. He has been on Rushmore podcast. He's an incredible comedian. The motherfucker's just a hustler. He's an absolute hustler. He will play any show that you give him as long as you pay him. And I guarantee you, if you booked him at a Jersey Mike's and gave him a fork for a microphone and just told him to stand on the fucking table and do stand up, he would, and real quick, he would do well. Like I've seen him in very different rooms just do well. That's
Yeah.
what he fucking does. He gets on the road and he does well. He's a great guy. And he has
Yeah.
taught me a lot about business and that whole side of it too. He's a great resource.
Yeah, I mean, his biggest accolade is probably having the great Jacob Craig open for him, though.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that is big. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
I didn't see
big,
that
yeah.
in his bio, but it's probably just because he didn't want to brag about it. He didn't
Yeah.
want to seem like
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
gloating,
you know. Yeah, like brown nosed or anything, you know.
So what about you?
That's probably my second favorite thing about him is how humble he is.
Yeah, yeah. Almost like Jacob Craig, just
Mhm.
slightly less humble.
So what about you, Jacob? What's your number 4?
So my number 4, this is where we get into the more mainstream people on my list, is Chris DiStefano, Chrissy D.
Chrissy D, King Gay,
Yeah,
the right wing lean for ladder 14.
that's right, baby. I love Chris DiStefano. He's underground to me because he hasn't gotten that big break on Netflix or anything, even though he does sets at the Comedy Cellar all the time and has like a big podcast. And he's just like really fucking funny. Like you expect him to do a bunch of bro jokes, and then he'll go up and talk about how he wants to fuck like this one dude audience member for like 30 minutes.
It's what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's what it is.
See, for my number 4 is a guy that we're gonna get him on this show, and we're supposed to rebook him down here because I was actually supposed to open for him at the Kraken before COVID destroyed everything down here. But Brent Terhune, I don't know if you follow him on Twitter or Instagram. He puts up some of the funniest, like right wing parody stuff I've ever seen, to the point where people don't know that he's so ridiculous that people think he's being serious. And it's, you know, like all of us that follow him, especially on Twitter, when people retweet him and they're just like, what an idiot and all this stuff, and we're like, who wants to tell them?
What's his name again? That dude sounds super familiar.
Brent Terhune, Terhune.
Yeah, he's the guy that like wears the MAGA hat and does everything from his truck,
Yeah.
like making fun of the guys who actually do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I know exactly. That's
Yeah.
why it was familiar, because I know exactly who the fuck you're
The
talking
dude's
about. Now.
awesome. So what about you, Pepper? What's your number 3?
My number 3 on my Mount Rushmore +1 of underground comedians is Jeff Danis, half of the incredible comedy duo Danish and O'Neill. If anybody wants to get into a really awesome podcast, they do a podcast called the Danish and O'Neill Podcast, and they also do a podcast called Beach Cops. And they just released, I know everybody's been waiting for this for a long time. They just released Good Cop, Horse Cop on their Patreon. So everybody go check that out now. Animated series, Good Cop, Horse Cop. It's incredible. But yeah, Jeff Danis, boy from Massachusetts. Like I said, half of Danish and O'Neill, does spots at the Comedy Store for like 12 fucking years. He's just an incredible comic.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get enough respect.
So what about you, Jacob? What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Mr. HPV Joe List.
Joe
Ooh.
Yeah, Mark Norman's buddy, his podcast partner. He doesn't get nearly as much recognition as Mark Norman does. He has like a 30-minute special on Netflix.
Just came out.
Yeah, it did. And yeah, I mean, he's just like he's been on like the JRE and shit like that. But as far as stand-up goes, he hasn't gotten where he's going to be yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite queefs out there.
Yeah.
For my number 3 is, I'm going to kind of cheat on this one a little bit. It's one of my favorite podcasts, and it's 2 internet personalities, and they have put out comedy albums together.
Yeah.
But it's the Night Attack podcast with Justin Robert Young and Brian Brushwood, and they are 2 of the funniest. Just they've been podcasting together for so long that, you know, they've been together for like 10, 12 years now. So it's just the way they play off each other, and they just know, like they did, you know, they do what's called like, you know, comedy trust falls, where they'll do something that they know is not funny, but the other person will just take it and make it funny, and they call that a comedy trust fall. They do that kind of stuff all the time, but it's a great podcast to listen to, a comedy podcast to listen to.
Hell yeah.
So what about you, Pepper? What's your number 2?
My number 2 is the incredible, incomparable ass kicker himself, Ryan O'Neal, the other half of Danish and O'Neal. This man recently got shot at with a pistol from 10 feet away.
What?
The guy either missed or we just found out that Ryan O'Neal is impervious to bullets. Either way, he is number 2 on my Mount Rushmore of underground comedians.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, he was walking the streets of L.A. and some guy was basically like, "Hey, can I borrow a lighter?" And he was like, "I don't have one, man." And the guy started running at him, and he didn't have anything in his pocket but a switchblade and a can of pepper spray. He started pepper spraying the dude, and the dude just kind of went pop, 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 and emptied an entire fucking clip. It turned like 40 cops showed up to look for the guy, never found him. Blah 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 blah.
I wonder if he had blanks, or he's just
you know
a
what?
bad
I just
shot.
realized. Everybody on my list besides Brian Holtzman has been a guest on Rushmore podcast.
Oh,
Didn't even mean for that to happen.
Hey, that means you got to get Brian Holtzman to complete the pentafecta.
That is right. We probably could.
Yeah.
Probably, man.
We
couldn't.
Yeah. Nobody. We get the bottom of the barrel like Pepper. No.
Yeah. Fucking Mark Simmons.
Yeah. So what about you, Jacob? What's your number 2?
My number 2 is quite possibly my current favorite comedian. His name is Mr. Sam Morril.
Sam Morril.
So, if you don't know who he is, he was in The Joker, 2019's Joker. He's who Arthur followed when he did stand-up comedy.
Okay.
And he has a special on Comedy Central. And he does spots at the Comedy Cellar. All the people on my list, except for Andrew Rivers, are from the Comedy Cellar. I just realized. So that kind of shows my
through lines.
Yeah, that shows my bias a little bit. The only downside about Sam Morril is that he's friends with Amy Schumer, but his comedy's good, actually.
Gross, dude.
So for my number 2, I don't know if you guys have heard of this guy. He's a clean comic, but he's really funny. His name's Zoltan. He does a lot of.
I've heard of Zoltan.
He's got a lot. He does a lot of stuff on YouTube. Like he's got, I think he's got like an hour-long special on YouTube that you can go watch. He's got a lot of clips on YouTube that you can watch. But dude is funny as hell, and I would definitely say go check him out. So Pepper,
is that his government name?
I don't know. That's what he goes by, Zoltan.
That's his immigrant name.
Ooh. My number 1 is he's opened up for Tom Segura. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's opened up for Doug Stanhope. He has been a guest on the Rushmore podcast. He has performed in Biloxi, Mississippi. His name...
Theo Vaughn.
No. His name is Carlos Valencia. That is my number 1.
Oh, okay.
1+1 of underground comedians. The dude is incredible. And, man, I've never seen... No, I probably have. But he makes you so uncomfortable when he's on stage. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I think it might be the fact that you know that he has the ability to say something in his next sentence that could turn the room into a fucking war zone.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those guys.
So what about you?
Yeah, I've heard of that guy.
What about you, Jacob? What's your number 1 underground comedian?
My number 1 underground comedian is the least underground comedian on this list. It's Mark Normand.
Not underground. Out to Lunch is almost up to 3 million views on YouTube.
Exactly. But you know what? You know what, Pepper? It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It ain't on Netflix, son.
I almost guarantee you he has made more money from Out to Lunch and the other few things that he's done than he would. I don't know. I don't know how Netflix works, actually. I should shut up.
Yeah, Netflix deals are pretty fucking lucrative, man. I don't know.
I guess.
I
But the
wouldn't
thing is,
turn
he's
one
underground
down.
in the fact that the normal comedy fan walking around doesn't know who the fuck Mark Normand is. Like,
Yeah.
Mark Normand opens for Burt Kreischer, and everyone's like, "Oh, the Machine," but they're not like, "Oh, Mark Normand," you know?
Yeah.
Even though Mark Normand's a better comedian than Burt Kreischer,
I
probably by
agree.
far.
I
By
agree
far.
100 times with that. Yeah. Mark Norman is probably one of the top 5 best joke writers alive right now. I'll say
I
that.
agree with that. Yeah, he's an amazing comic. And our very first guest, Crangus Gillespie, is a personal friend of Mark Normand's and opened for him and hosted a show he was on while they were in New Orleans together.
Mhm.
So
Mark Norman's weird because
2
he
degrees of separation.
like he'll so Thomas, my co-host, whenever we asked him about being on the podcast, Mark just sent him his number and was like, call me, I'll talk to you. And so Thomas ended up talking to him for like 30 minutes, and he's texted Thomas about stuff before, and
Wow.
I know he's done that with other people that are like fucking complete nobodies too. It's just like it's super nice. Like he's an amazing fucking guy, but it's weird that he'll like text people that he barely fucking knows and like ask them about stuff.
Yeah.
That's probably the comedian brain of his. He's like, this could be a funny story.
Yeah, I mean, I guess comedian is another way you could say autistic. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For my
All right,
number
Jason,
one,
what's your number one?
y'all might make fun of me for this, but he's the ultimate underground comedian because he changed comedy for me, especially like one of my biggest influences, and he's no longer around. But Bill Hicks, I mean, he's still,
All right.
you know, I know
I'll
that
accept that.
we all know that who he is, but if you walk up to just some random person and be like, "Who's Bill Hicks?" They'll have no idea. So I would still consider Bill Hicks to be an underground comedian because he never quite got the level of fame that he deserved.
I don't know if he ever got out of Houston, really.
Well, he did. I mean, he was on the like the late what was the David Letterman, and I think he was on the Tonight Show, but he never kind of really broke that barrier, to be like
What
a
I mean,
household
he
name.
never really left Houston. He never like moved to L.A. or New York
No,
and started
yeah.
like an acting career or anything like that.
Yeah, he stayed around Houston, did the open mics and stuff around there. There's a lot of footage of him taking care of hecklers, like at the the open mics, because he'd be drunk as shit, just up on stage rambling, and people are like, "This is not funny," and he's just like, "Fuck you, get out!" And it's like, whoa, this dude's don't mess with him.
Yeah, I mean, he was a preacher, so I mean, his stage presence was fucking next level.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing is like he just died too young, man. If he'd have been around because I think he was just getting to the point where his style of comedy would have hit pretty hard mainstream if he'd have been given the chance. But like I said, he got pancreatic cancer and he was dead in like 3 months, so he just never got that chance.
That's what's
Our Lord Jesus Christ works in mysterious ways.
But that was the show, fellas. Pepper, dude, it was awesome. I'm sorry we had to bump you.
Man.
You were supposed to be on like episode like 8 or something, but we had to bump you. And
Oh, it's all good, man. It worked out. Hey, it worked out perfectly because I have nothing to do right now.
Well, we definitely want to have you back, man, because you're great to talk to, and you're a local podcaster, and we all have this kinship with one another, so we all try to push one another and everything. So it's it's nice having you on.
Anytime, man. I'll talk about anything other than fucking movies and comic books and video games and shit like that. I don't know anything about that shit.
Well, tell everybody
nerd shit.
Tell everybody where they can find all your stuff online, man.
Go check out Rushmore Podcast. Literally anywhere you can get a podcast. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. Go follow us on Twitter at Rushmore Podcast. Go follow us on Instagram, the same name, Facebook. Blah blah blah. Breaking news, guys. I don't know if you guys have heard. This just popped up on my phone. The Timberwolves got the number 1 pick in the 2020 NBA draft, and I just remembered that basketball existed. I had no idea for like the past 6 months.
Yeah.
What a stupid sport.
Dude,
All right, that's it.
football is going to be interesting this year. I'm just going to say that.
Baseball is fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's all going to be interesting.
Hey.
The only sport that hasn't really suffered is NASCAR because nobody's watching before, nobody's watching now, and who gives a fuck?
MMA has fucking improved with no crowd,
Oh
dude. You
my
can hear
God.
every shot.
Ooh,
And the
yeah.
smaller cage. Oh. Yeah,
Hell
that's what.
yeah,
Hey,
dude.
next time I come on, let's do something MMA related.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do an MMA bonus episode for our next
right.
month's Patreon.
I'm down for that.
Let's do that, dude.
So what about you, Jacob? You want to plug anything before we go? I don't know if we have any shows coming up or anything.
I do have a show coming up, but I'll talk about that closer to the date. What
Okay.
I want to know is everyone in the chat right now, if you want to email us at openmikerspodcast@gmail.com. We just reached 500 followers on Facebook, and
Yes.
I want to do something a little sweet for you guys. So if you guys want to send us an email and say something you want us to do for our fans, let us know and we'll try to get it done.
And don't forget, we have a Patreon now, too. Patreon.com/OM Podcast. Derek Diamond, got to give him a shout out. He was our very first Patreon supporter. And so go join Derek and be a Patreon supporter of this show. You'll help keep the lights on here. You'll help us pay for server costs every month. And if you do that, then we won't have to have ads where assholes make us read Shakespeare for 2 minutes before the show starts. So please head over to patreon.com/OM Podcast. And I think that's going to do it. But if you like Jacob said, if you want to email us, it's openmikerspodcast@gmail.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter, at Open Mikers on Twitter, and just look up Open Mikers on Facebook. So we will see you guys next Tuesday or Thursday. My damn taser off. All right.
Yeah, man, that was fucking fun, dude.
That was good.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Rampage. I mean, we had a couple other people in the chat room too, but they weren't talking. So I don't know. We need to engage the chat room a little more.
I was trying to
Yeah.
find the chat.
It's on Jason's Twitch.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
it's on my Twitch page. Actually,
I have
for
no
this
idea how
show,
to get
I
to that.
can go out to different with the Streamlabs. I can go out to Facebook too. But when we tried to do Facebook, man, it was awful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really impressed how well this worked because I mean, I'm completely fucking done with Skype. I'll never use Skype again.
Oh, yeah.
I did a 2-hour interview with on Skype a couple days ago, and it was just a complete dumpster fire from front to back.
Oh yeah, me and Derek jumped over for we were doing Nerd Cave Retro. And we were doing Skype for it, and then sometime last year we were like, screw it, we're going to Discord, and we've been here ever since. And the cool thing about Discord is you can do communities too. Like we have the Nerd Cave Retro Discord community. I'm a part of a couple other different communities, so it's a cool place like to have like social media and not have any assholes, like
Right.
it's like if somebody comes in, it's like, oh, Trump 2020, it's like boot them the fuck out,
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and everything works well. It's pretty easy to navigate.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's if somebody's too loud or too soft, I have control to lower and raise up people's volumes. I have, like you look under voice and video, you've got all kind of control in there.
Okay, so the host can control all that?
Yeah. And the only thing I
Okay.
don't like about it is I don't have any way to control the cameras like I used to.
Yeah.
They got rid of that. So now I'm kind of at the mercy of whenever I make the screen bigger where you can see all three of us. It's like I'm
Yeah.
kind of at the mercy of wherever it wants to put us. So I have to, every week, I got to kind of move everything around to make it fit.
Yeah, it's doing the Zoom thing where it just switches to whoever's talking.
No, this
Yeah.
doesn't. It doesn't do that for me. I've just got all three cameras in one little
Yeah.
field right here.
But I've found that if you go up and zoom in. Hold
Oh
on.
yeah.
Yeah,
It'll put
if
that
I-
one person to the side. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll do the Zoom thing.
Yeah.
Which I mean, Zoom has been fucking incredible for us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
Zoom's really
thing.
cool.
I've been listening to a couple other podcasts that I really like, and what they do is there's one really big one that I listen to. They do a daily podcast every week, and what they do is they use Discord for audio, and they use Zoom for the cameras. So
Yeah,
that's how
that's
they
one
run
thing I was
their
gonna
show.
say is like y'all's audio is crystal fucking clear. It's a little bit better than Zoom's audio.
Yeah, but the Zoom.
Jacob, what was that?
That was like a meatball.
Is that a potato?
It's my hamburger from supper.
Oh, nice.
We're out of buns.
Wait, do you call lunch supper or is that?
No,
Your
this
nighttime
is this is nighttime meal.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Daddy's gonna need a midnight snack though. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Let's see. Oops, that's not good.
What?
Are we
I
still
deleted-
recording? Is Patreon gonna get me eating a hamburger?
Oh yeah, we're still going out to Twitch right now.
Hi,
Well,
Patreon.
All right,
Yeah,
we're gonna go ahead and get going, you guys, on Twitch. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next Thursday.